This video is brought to you by Harry's. A little bit more about them later on. Alright, I decided to take a couple more steps backwards. I figured, come this far, I might as well do it properly and start from ground zero. Took all the walls off and basically have it gutted. And I'm glad I did because I found a little bit of water damage. It was leaking around the window, and so I just decided to replace all the floors while I'm at it. And that's what I'm working on right now, replacing the floors. The wood flooring is still in pretty good shape. I'll be able to use it as a template, and I'm going to transfer it onto some new wood that I just picked up in town. The old flooring was just a 1/4 inch thick, and I thought it would be worth losing 1/2 inch of headroom to have some solid plywood at the base to attach everything to. I know I'll be screwing into it a lot for the framing and later on for the cabinets. Putting a little bit of silicone in all the old screw holes. Make sure they don't leak from underneath. There were 3 pretty good sized holes cut in the metal floor of the van where the table legs used to sit, which I didn't plan on using anymore and needed to patch up. It was a weird shape for the floor around the front of the cab. I think it kind of looked like a giant pair of glasses. Once everything was in place and fit alright, I fastened it all down. Got the floor done and all screwed down. I think I'm ready to move on to framing the walls, which is a little overwhelming. I think I just got to start small and try to make a little bit of progress, and hopefully the ball will get rolling. I'm going to start off by making a box around the wheel well. But before I start in on that, I wanted to talk about the sponsor of this video, Harry's. I just happened to mention to my dad the other day that Harry's was sponsoring an upcoming video, and he said, "Oh man, I love Harry's." I had no idea my dad even knew about the company, and he went on to tell me how nice the razors are, and his favorite part is actually the shave gel. He said he tried going back to his old gel and couldn't believe how his shave was all patchy and nowhere near as smooth and close. He said he had no idea gel could make that much of a difference. I said, "Dad, you need to come on and do this ad for me," because it felt like he was doing an ad just hearing him talk about how much he liked Harry's. Harry sent me the starter kit, which includes a weighted handle with textured grip, a 5-blade razor cartridge, foaming shave gel, and a travel cover to protect the blades when I'm on the go. Refills start as low as $2 and ship directly to your door. Honestly, the deal Harry's currently have on their trial set is just amazing. You'll get everything you need for a close, comfortable shave, and you'll be supporting my channel by signing up. Redeem your trial set for just $3 when you go to harrys.com/rainfall or by clicking the link in the description. I've also been eyeing Harry's holiday-themed gift bundles, which might just be the perfect present for my dad and brother-in-laws. Hopefully they don't watch this. So check them out, harrys.com/rainfall. Thanks, Harry's. really wanted to minimize the space lost around the wheel well as much as possible. I realized that the corner of the wheel well actually ducts under the water heater, so I needed to build a box for the water heater at the same time and incorporate it into the wheel well box. The top and the bottom of the box are square pieces, so I got them in place and then made a template for the sides that matched the shape of the side of the van. I decided to use liquid nails, which is a general construction adhesive, whenever the wood is pressed up against the side of the van. I'm not sure how well it'll actually bond, especially in the long run, but I thought it would at least keep the wood on metal contact from squeaking when the van is driving down the road. I bet it does bond the wood to the painted metal some. I'm going to start working on the ribs now, and to match the shape of the side of the van, I roughly cut out the shape of this thin piece of wood here, and I'm going to use a spacer to hopefully more accurately draw the correct shape of the van. Pretty close. And then for the outside of the rib, I'm gonna make it match the post right here. So then it'll be on one solid plane when I mount the plywood on the outside of it. Making things a little bit harder is the fact that the van tapers slightly towards the rear. I knew each rib is gonna take modification to snugly fit in place. I'm just about done getting the side framed. The last thing I'm doing is building a box around the heater here. I was reading on the front of the heater, and it says it needs 1 inch around all sides of it. All right, I think I finished framing in that wall. Took a little longer than I thought I was going to. And now I'm trying to get a game plan figured out for the other wall. I'm guessing taking a little bit longer than I thought I was going to is going to be the theme for this project. I think I'm going to start by putting the cover in over the propane tank where it used to go. And then I'll build a little bit of a frame around it. And then I think the next step is going to be framing it around the window because it needs to be a specific thickness for the window to seal again. So I'm going to frame that in and then figure out how to blend that shape into the ribs for the rest of the wall. The plywood splits really easily with screws, so I drilled and countersunk each hole. I screwed through the outside of the van into the ribs whenever I could, because it really stiffened up the framing and the sidewall of the van. I didn't worry about framing 16 inches on center. I tried to place the ribs next to a door or a vent, which would be held in place with screws on the outside of the van. I backed the screw off on the outside, installed the rib, and then sunk the screw back into the door's trim and into the new wood behind it. But not every rib had this option available. I got a visit from my new nephew. He wanted to stop by and see if I was making any progress on the van. Come inspect my work. Gotta hack out this metal post here. It's not doing anything, it's just in the way. I've been using a pocket hole jig a ton on this project. Basically anywhere I can't fasten it from the backside. Alright, I think I finally got this side done. It's not the prettiest, don't look too close. I think it's a little unconventional, but it's pretty strong. It adds a lot of rigidity to that side over there. Just a pain because each piece had to be specially cut and fit, so it took a long time. All I have left to do on the framing is put some pieces on the top here, across here. I want to connect those two sides. The rest of the framing on the top I think is alright, so I'm going to leave it. I really want to try to keep this as tight to the roof as possible because this is the one little area in the van where I can actually stand up. It's my precious headroom. I don't think there's really anything supporting this section before. I thought framing it in would give the roof a little more strength. It would also be a lot nicer when it comes time to fasten the ceiling plywood on the inside in place. I think that'll work. Came out nice and strong. It felt so good to start making some forward progress on this project. I tore everything out of the van in a quick weekend, and then the project was put on hold for 2 months while we finished up harvest on the farm, which meant I spent 2 months second guessing this project and thinking I might have gotten in over my head. But things are moving now, and I'm having lots of fun, and I'm feeling more optimistic about things. Next up is running all the electrical and installing solar panels.